Here we have the text of the task, and after having read it, I understand it as we are going to count how many times a word or a combination of letters occur in a sentence. And how did I come to this solution? Well, after reading the text, I found this, that we shall have a function called count occurrences. That function shall take two parameters, sentence and combo. The function shall return how many times the given letter combination occurs in the sentence. Alright, so it shall return how many times. I'll just mark how many times, so we remember that is what it's going to return. And then the last bit here is important. The function shall count the letter combination combo, which is the one we send as an argument when we call it, if it is a word on its own or if it is part of another word. So this last bit here is important, and luckily for us we get two examples here, so it's easy to see what it means. So if we're looking for the word world, we find it two times here. But in the second case, if we're looking for and, we see that it's part of Sandy and Randy too, so it's three times we can find it in this sentence. So this is what we're supposed to do, but how are we going to go about doing it? So let's devise a plan by drawing a flowchart. And my idea of how to solve it is that we, in the main function, first declares the sentence and the word that we're going to use. So for example, we declare sentence to be this here and word to be this one here. So we take it from the task. We declare them as variables. After that, we call this function count occurrences that we're told that we should have. That one would return how many times the word occur in that sentence. After that, we display the result. So pretty straightforward here in the main function. But of course, we have this count occurrences that we need to also specify how that function should look. So I'll start by drawing a little bit, and then we can see what I have done. So let's see how my plan works out here. So let's just discuss it and see what I have in my mind for how it should work. So when we call this function, the first thing that we should do is to find the first index of this word in the sentence, or the combination, because we see here that it can be and that it would be part of this sentence. So we find the first index. So we look from the start and see that, all right, here is the first index where and occur, and that is in Sandy. So we find that, and if that is not -1, meaning that, all right, we find a position in the sentence where it is. If it's not 1, what shall we do then? Meaning, all right, we have found it in the sentence, then I think we can increase the counter to say, all right, I have found it 1 time here in Sandy. After that, my idea is that, all right, we found and here. What if I use string slicing to just keep the last bit of the string? So starting with the Y here. So everything before that, I will just remove it and keep the slice after that. So Y and Randy. Meaning that everything from here to here we will keep, and hello sand we will remove, meaning we have found and here. Let's look in the rest. So if we slice that sentence and just keep the reminding part, what can we do then? Then we can try to find the next index of the word. So starting here at Y, we see, all right, in this part here, the last part of the the sentence, can we find and again? Yes, the index would be here then, because here's the word and, meaning that, all right, if we go back then, I'll clean this up in a little bit, but yes, so we can get a rough idea. If I find the next index and the next index of the word in the sentence after we have removed the part where we find and one time. So then we check, all right, here, did we find a new index where it is? Oh yes, because we find and here. So when we find and here, we do the same thing again. We increase the counter, then we remove everything up until after and. So now we have space Randy. Left, we go in here and we find the next index. Yes, we can find it one more time because it's also in Randy. We can find and here. But after that, when we keep the last bit here, after and in Randy, so we have Y exclamation mark, the index will be -1 because we cannot find and in these two letters, meaning that we will skip out of the loop. And what should we do then? Well, then we are then we should print the result. So let's see, go over it one more time. Oh, I'll clean it up first. So let's go over it here. So we can see that, all right, we start in the main function. We declare a sentence and a word. For example, hello, Sandy and Randy. And the word would be and. That's what we are looking for in this sentence. After that, we call count occurrences. And we find the first index of and in the sentence, hello, Sandy and Randy, meaning that we would find it here in Sandy. So it is not -1, so we increase our counter. Then we slice our sentence to only keep whatever is after the and that we found. So from here, we keep the last bit. And then we try to find and in that last bit. And we keep going here until we can't find any more ands in the sentence. But I see now here that I made a mistake because I added print result here. So if I would print the result here and then return, then I would print it again. So this one shouldn't be here because here we should only count the occurrences. We shouldn't print it. That's something that we should do back in main. So let's remove this one. So we can see it's always a good idea to, after you have created your flowchart or your pseudocode, to go over it and make sure that it makes sense. And you see here in this case, we are only supposed to return how many times it occurred, and then we print it back in main. So we see here then we print the result coming back from calling this function, and then we are done with the script. And the implementation of this we will see in the implementation video.